how do you deal
Yeah.
with that situation where you're uncomfortable if you feel like people don't like you while you're working with them?
Well, that's probably the biggest challenge of my life here, Matt. So you said had. I will
Sure.
say that is a high need for approval, high need to be liked. Those that know the DISC personality profiles, I'm very much an IES on the people side of things. I don't want to make waves. I don't want to make people upset. I want to be liked. I want to have fun and connect with other people, which is great. And that makes me, I think, a very empathetic, sensitive communicator and leader coach. But it can also be a danger when I struggle to say the tough things, have the accountability conversations, or, deal with problematic issues between other people, even if I'm not involved. Stepping up to step into difficult situations, rescue people, which is not always the thing that you want to do. But if your team needs rescuing or a deal needs rescuing, there are times where you have to step into a difficult situation or a customer complaint because they
Yeah.
want to talk to the manager, right? And you're like, all right, this is it. I got to go fall on the sword on this one. So I got to make a phone call to somebody who's really upset at this moment and see what I can do. And I think I have a few pieces of advice for them. Number one is exposure therapy. I learned this in public speaking and the entertainment stuff that I did, that until you get up on stage in front of 10,000 people, you're going to have stage fright. You're going to be scared. But once you've done it 1,000 times, you might have a little bit of nerves, but it's way quieter in your head than the first time. So I think if you struggle to have difficult conversations, you got to find a way to put yourself in those situations as many times as possible so that you can get the reps, get used to it, and you can get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Number two is I think you can do this with some really great tactics and questions about being not okay allows the other person to realize that you're in this with them.
So that's the psychology
So
of
I think
human communication, basically.
right. Yeah. That I saw this as a great example one time to tell you how long ago it was, but I'll never forget it. I was in line at a bank and this guy, the check wouldn't clear. The bank had a hold on his money or something. So he was really frustrated. And everybody in line or around, as a customer is like, come on, bank, give the guy his money. Like, what are you doing? Like, this is ridiculous. Just, he's got a check, he got paid or whatever. Like, figure it out. You got plenty of money, right? Until this guy got so upset that he made the cashier on the other side cry. And this poor girl was just like distraught. And then we all switched teams. And we were all like, oh, nope, this guy's an asshole. Don't give him the money. Get this guy out of here. Where's security? Like, wrap this up, right? And what that demonstrates is when the power balance shifts, like it completely changes the game. And so you can do this intentionally where if a customer is upset and they've been told the corporate policy is we can't do XYZ and they're frustrated and they're like, well, let me talk to the manager who can change the policy. You're stepping in. Your job is not to go over the top with more policy and come down hard on them or explain to them, or you're going to lose a customer. So your only out, I believe, is to go less okay. It's to struggle with them and say, Matt, I got to really be honest with you. This is the hardest part of my job. I hate making these phone calls. You're upset. I'm not great at dealing with it, but if you tell me what's going on, I'll do my best to help you solve the problem. But I realize that this is going to be uncomfortable for both of us. So can we get this stuff out here on the table so that we can deal with it as adults? If you come in that way and you just admit that you're not great at this, that look, I have a high need for approval. I don't want to promise you something that I can't deliver, which is my natural tendency, to fix the problem or to be liked and be the hero and swoop in. If I say that's going to be a problem for you, and I really be honest with people, I think that
Yeah.
changes the game. It
Well,
allows
so that's
me to
really
be
good.
out.
Exposure therapy, right? Just getting the reps, be doing it, do what scares you. And then, having a toolkit of tactics and techniques that you can leverage in situations to make them more comfortable for you and for the other person involved, right? Powerful, powerful stuff.